A warm welcome to everyone and Namaste. So today yet another interesting topic we are going to discuss. So before we begin, let me give you a connection between the topics what I have been discussing since last few episodes. So in the beginning, I discussed about the existence of God. And yes, we discussed some proofs, some reasonable understanding about the existence of God. So then, yes, God does exist, but can I see God? Then we discussed how there are three ways in which we can see God. And all of you might have got question, yes, you spoke about God, that was interesting. You spoke about how we can see God and how we can approach God, that was also reasonable and quite good. But on what basis are you discussing all these things? Then I discussed about a topic which was Vedic wisdom. So I spoke about the existence of God and whether we can see God or not. Based on what? Is it just my understanding and my contemplation? No. So whatever I spoke, it was based on Vedic scriptures. Then the question comes, sir, that's nice. We spoke about God, we spoke about how we can see God, and yes, we spoke about all these things based on Vedic scriptures. But next question comes, why do I have to hear all these things? Why should I know all these things? So the answer for this question is the topic for the day. So what is today's topic? It is science of soul, or we can say, who am I? That is the topic for the discussion from today to next few days. So to begin with, I have a question to all of you. The question is, who are you? When someone asks this question, who are you? What is your answer? So whenever I have spoken this topic to many audiences, I have always asked this question about who are you? The question is very simple, but answer is quite deep. And most of the people, even though we are all educated, but when someone asks this question, who are you? What would be your answer? Let me give you examples. Now, if someone asks me, who are you? Generally, what people answer? I say, I am Ananta Vallabha Das. So here, I am identifying myself with my name. So the question is, if I change my name, do I change? So from tomorrow, I go to court and legally I change my name from Ananta Vallabha Das to Radha Vallabha Das. Now my name is changed. Am I changing? No. But when someone asks, who are you? Why do we identify ourselves with our names? Even though the name changes, I don't change. Hope you got the point. Now some people, who are you? Some people say, I am an engineer. Very nice. Now today I am engineer. Later I study MBA and become a management guru, or I become a manager in some company. I manage things. I manage a business. So now from engineer I become an administrator. Am I changing? Or I am an engineer, a computer science graduate. I started studying astrology. Now I am an astrologer. So from engineer, from a software person, I became an astrologer. Am I changing? Still, some people identify themselves with their profession. The point here is, the profession may change, but we don't change. So when some people are asked, who are you? They may say, I am a student. Now after a few years, they become professionals. So does that mean they change? From student, they have become professional, but still we remain same. If someone may say, I'm an Indian, That's nice, but after a few years I go to America and take American citizenship. Then I become American. Am I changing? No. This I call it as identity crisis. Now, whenever we are asked, who are you? Whether I may say I'm a student, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm an astrologer, I'm an Indian, all this identification can be changed, but still we remain same. Then still the question is, who are you? I'll tell you one story. One time, a saintly person, he had written some spiritual book. So he went to the publisher, the printing press, to collect his book. And this saint, sannyasi, it happened in West Bengal. So he went to that press in Bengal, and he saw there were some question papers for class 2, second standard students. So at the same time, some teacher of this class 2, she had come there to collect the question papers. So the sadhu was quite impressed by reading that first question. You know what is that first question? It was written, Tomar Parichay Ki, meaning what is your parichay? What is your identity? So he was a sadhu, he was a saintly person with full of Vedic wisdom. So he asked the teacher, dear teacher, what answer do you expect from students for this question, Tomar Parichay Ki, what is your identity? So teacher said, if students write, I am a student, I am Rahul, I am an Indian, so and so, whatever answer they write like this, they will get full marks. So this saint, sadhu, he asked this teacher, what if the student write, Amar Parichay Ami Atma, meaning my identity is I am Atma, I am soul. What do you do? So teacher said, no marks. But the real identity is actually I am spirit soul, but this is not being taught in our schools and colleges. This I call it as identity crisis. Hope you got the point. So the crux of the theme is our identity, whatever we think about our name, our profession, our studentship, whatever, all these things can be changed, but we remain as we are. That is the point. Now, Dr. Harry Monson, he is a professor of anatomy at Illinois College of Medicine. He gives a very, very significant understanding about our identity. So he says, most of the human body is water. In a 60-pound person, there are about 5 pounds of calcium, 1.5 pounds of phosphate, about 9 ounces of potassium, 6 ounces each of sulfur and sodium, 1 ounce of magnesium, and less than an ounce each of iron, copper, and iodine. Surprised to hear this? See this image. As per this scientist, he writes in his book, Dr. Monson, the total worth of a human body is just rupees 110. If I sell this body, and what this body is made up of? Calcium, iron, phosphorus, water content, and other substances. So this book was written, I think, 1 or 2 decades ago. So now the price might have increased. So now, does that sound like you? Are you just worth 110 or 1010 or even 1 lakh? That is your worth? So please ask yourself, is this the essential stuff of your identity? It's a quite eye-opening understanding what Dr. Monson writes in his book. So now, does that sound like you? Please ask yourself, is this the essential stuff of your identity? No. Are we just bundles of chemicals which have aligned together by chance and are exhibiting various feelings and emotions? Like sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are shocked, sometimes we are loving, have good feeling. All these things happens just because of some chemical secretion. Is life no more than molecular collision and chemical interaction? Is the love you feel for your parents simply some chemical secretion? Some people, scientific people, they say if somebody is getting angry, why do that person is getting angry? Because there is some chemical secretion. So because of some chemical secretion, he is behaving like that. Yes, that is true, but not complete. Why? Because yes, when you become angry, there is a kind of chemical secretion. Definitely it happens. But this chemical secretion is not the cause of your anger, but it is the effect of your anger. So there is a difference between cause and effect. Let me give you a small example. Now, a person is laughing. So what does this laughter signify? This signifies that he is happy. So laughter is the effect of being happy. If somebody is happy, that means he is laughing. Just because you are smiling and laughing doesn't prove that you are happy. So laughter is a symptom, is an effect of your happiness. Just like that, so if somebody is showing some love, good emotions, so that means that feelings will affect the bodily metabolism and create some secretion, chemical secretion. That is the point. Let us take a quick break and come back.